Well, it looks like something behind me is purple. I want you guys to tell me if you see it too. Come on in. Welcome to the show. I'm Mary Grace. This is Wednesday. It's not the 15th, it's the 14th. I knew that. Hold on a second. Multitasking. Hmm. Okay. I was so focused on that purple background. Okay, let's see. It looks like some people are here. It's the 14th. Here we go. Oops, here comes Barley. All right, come on in. I have no idea why there's purple on the sides. I guess we'll just live with it today. It's cutting off half my stage. I don't know what happened. Apparently, the folks over at Restream are just bored and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff that um, they're not really telling us about. Hold on a second. Let me get Barley. Ugh, he's so heavy. Um, there we go. Look, he's here. Can you hear me? He's being a little bit friendly because he knows I'm leaving on a trip. So, anyway, I'm sorry about the purple. It wasn't my choice, and we'll just see what happens. Anyway, here's Barley. There he is, the giant cat. I'm not in California. I'm right here in Virginia in my studio. Look at him. Yeah, he's like, okay, I've had enough of that. Uh, okay. You like the purple? The purple was not my choice. That's not my color theme for this month. So I don't know what happened. I'll see if I can fix it another time. It just popped up there. Wasn't there the other day. Um let's see. Are you just gonna hang out here? I'm sorry you can't see. You can sort of see Barley here. All right. Um yeah, so Barley's been a little bit clingy. He also knows I have a cup of water on the table. And that's probably his ulterior motive is that he's trying to get that, and he found a toy. So, it's not really all about me after all. Uh, oh, there he goes. He got it. Bye. Bye, Barley. He got the toy. That's what that was all about. How do they know? How does he know it's up here? Um, okay. You see the purple when the stream glitches? Hmm. Wow, interesting. So, I'll be in California this weekend. All right. As you're coming in, I'm Mary Grace. This is Mary Grace Media. You are live for Real Talk with Mary Grace, and we're going to spend a few minutes chatting today, and then I will be back next week, probably Wednesday of next week because of my travel schedule. If I post anything live, it will be on YouTube, not Facebook. And also, if I post any short videos, I'll put them in my Telegram, which is Mary Grace Media Official. So make sure that you are following that. That's where I post things that I find interesting. That's where I post commentary, et cetera, et cetera. I don't usually post that stuff on YouTube or Facebook or Cloud Hub at this time, and so there, that's where it is. Mary Grace Media Official. And let's see who's here. As you're coming in, it looks like it looks like there's hardly anybody here today. Um, as you come in, please, if you're on Facebook, please like Mary Grace Media, like the page, and then like the program. Hit the hearts. Leave a comment. Leave a comment when you come back for the replay. Share it and tag your friends. Share it into groups. That would be great. When you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and just make sure that you are following and you have notifications so that you can see my shows. All right, now, all right, so we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of things today. I'm not going to go into depth a lot. It's been a busy week. You know, when you're trying to go out of town, things just get a little crazy. But let me see. There's a couple things that I did want to talk about. I want to pick up where we left off the other day when I was talking about the RNC. And um, I was talking about the RNC, and okay, I guess we're going to have to talk about the elephant in the room that Millie just dropped, which is that I haven't seen that story. So everybody's a little distracted by that. It said Maricopa County just approved millions to buy new election equipment from Dominion. I guess we'll see how that plays out. Yeah. I have a feeling I'm not looking at the story, I'm just looking at Millie's post. So what I want to say to that is just focus and also, when all the dust settles, my thinking is that I have a feeling we're not going to have machines. I mean, we the people aren't going to stand for it. So she said that it was that Epic Times posted that. Okay, so I just haven't seen it, but I want to go back and talk about the RNC because I really want. It's important that people understand the the players and the playing field out there, and they understand the degree to which you have been betrayed by people that you have put your trust in. And it wasn't the Democrats, it's actually a lot of Republicans. And we found out the other day that um, that Jenna Ellis had been blocked by Ronna McDaniel, and I explained to you that Ronna McDaniel is not on our side. That she's a Romney, she's an establishment Republican, and the way that she acted in the aftermath of the fraud it makes it pretty obvious. This purple is just really annoying, but I don't have time to fix it. So the way that hold on a second, I just got to see this. I don't know why it's doing this. Hold on. Okay, that's so much better. Okay. Wow. Now, um, I don't know how that happened. Everything just defaulted to what it was before. So what I was going to say is that the way that she acted, I told you, going back to the 2018 midterms, going back to the Virginia governor's race, when she told me that they weren't going to put any money into the race, I just, I was so annoyed. Um, and so, eh, we're seeing the true colors come out now because she blocked Jenna Ellis on Twitter the other day when Jenna produced the receipts for what was purportedly the lawyer for the RNC saying that they weren't going to take these charges of election fraud seriously. And so today we have an article that's coming out actually by the Washington Compost, and it says the Republican Party's top lawyer called election fraud arguments by Trump's lawyers a joke that could mislead millions. Justin Reamer, the Republican National Committee's chief counsel, sought to discourage a Republican Party staffer from posting debunked claims about ballot fraud on RNC accounts, according to an email obtained by the Washington Post. So I'm guessing that this is from Jenna Ellis, and so that is a story. That's an important story because you want to know who your enemy is, and sometimes the enemy is right there within the ranks, and that's really important for people to understand that that's the situation. And so it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing this come out at all. So just keep that in mind. And again, I don't want to dwell on it, but I wanted you to know that. And the things that I've been telling you, the things that I've been trying to explain about this, about the fact that the Republicans are in many senses not who we think they are. They're not who they've presented themselves to be. It's like uncovering fake Christians, and we're going to see more and more of that, and because God is exposing, he's peeling back the layers and exposing the treachery and the betrayal that has come from within the Republican Party. And there are going to be more. You're going to see this more, and you need to be prepared for it. And also um also you are going to be you're going to be seeing you're going to see it more, and you have to be prepared for it. Now, somebody just asked a question if I trust Jenna. Not necessarily. No, I don't necessarily trust her, but here's what I want. I want you to know also. Um uh the Trump team is always putting out disinformation. What do I mean by that? It's not just the fake news or the other side that is putting out disinformation. There are times when you will see the Trump's team, when you will see Trump's team uh, dropping bombs like this, and there may be, and it may not all be true. But remember, we're not the only ones looking at the news. We're not the only ones following the stories. And one of the things that is so important to understand is that Trump and his team are very strategic, and they're really good at marketing. And when it comes to marketing, that means that you drive that you're the one who drives the message and the narrative. And also, one of the things that Trump is really good at is playing things close to his vest, and his team as well. And so I know for a fact that a lot of times our team, our PR people will drop stories, will leak stories that get everybody chattering and running around, in circles, and creating drama. It's intentional. Our team creates our team creates drama intentionally to distract. It's just like the tweets. It's just like when he does things in all caps. It's intentional because there's always something bigger and more important going on in the background. And when you see these stories come out, a lot of the reason that they're coming out is look over here, not over here. And and so don't forget that. Don't forget that our side is also putting out stories that are creating drama. Um, and so uh, so I just want to I want to make that clear. And this is where we go back to what Andrew Breitbart said, which is that you want to focus on the signal and not the noise. All right. Um, that is important, that you want to make sure that you're focusing on the signal, not the noise. Because remember, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing that's floating around in places like Washington Post it's for the normies. It's for the people who are looking for the next scandal. And let me just say this, even if I did or didn't trust Jenna, that's not the point here. I will tell you 100% that the RNC is not to be trusted. So even if this specific detail of this story weren't true, I would trust the RNC about as far as I could throw them. And we'll see where how Jenna plays out, which side she falls on here. I'm not concerned about that right now. What I'm concerned about is the fact that there is a scandal, that there's a big story coming out that is meant to distract you. And what is it distracting you from? It's distracting you from the fact that there is so much uh, blatant fraud being displayed and uncovered in Georgia that I just can't even see how people are not going to go to jail. Even corrupt judges can't deny what is going on here. And this is even before an audit. I mean, what they're finding is that the so-called recount that happened in Georgia. Do you remember the recount that they did, that where Raffensperger and China Kemp said that that was good enough, and they made a big deal about it. And well, it turns out that they were actually double counting ballots. They were double scanning them. And this is what we know to be true, is that it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes that counts. And that is what we're finding here. We're seeing the truth, which is that the people who are counting the votes, it doesn't matter how many recounts you do, because if they tell you that you have, 10 apples and 3 oranges, when in reality it's, 5 apples and um and 8 oranges, it doesn't matter what's true, because if they're the ones counting them, they're going to be counting the same wrong things over and over and over again. That's not an audit. A recount doesn't do anything when you have the same traders in charge of counting. And so this is what we're finding. This is what we're finding, and and the president um, has been tweeting this out, or putting it out on Telegram, and it says, and they called it an audit in Georgia, but it wasn't an audit. It was literally just it literally just was a recount of the same lies. All right. And this is what we know about the propaganda machine that is fully backed by the DNC, by MSDNC and their kind. And that is that, if you tell the same lie often enough, then everybody believes it. And that's what we're seeing right now. So Faker 46 actually told us himself what was going on. And this was a really good post that I shared on my. Mm, okay. This is a good post that I shared on my Telegram. Let me just look at this. It's a meme. Okay, so these are quotes. These are actual quotes by Faker 46 over the last 9 months. He says, "We have put together the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics." Oh, and that was October 24th, 2020. That was when everybody was saying, "Oh no, they're not going to steal the election. The pandemic doesn't have anything to do with votes and mail-in votes and stealing the election." And then he says, "I don't need you to get me elected. I need you once I'm elected." That was October 31st, 2020. Now, here's one that just happened yesterday. It's no longer just about who gets the vote, who It's no longer just about who gets to vote or making it easier for eligible voters to vote. It's about who gets to count the vote. So, all of this screaming and theatrics and histrionics about uh, protecting our democracy, it all comes down to the fact that they mad. They mad about the fact that we are changing we are demanding that that the people who count the vote are actually doing so honestly. That's the big problem here. And he spelled it out. I mean, he literally just said, "Yeah, we're mad at you because you're actually pursuing this." And and the thing is, they never thought, first of all, they never thought she would lose. And then they never thought that we were going to push back, that we were going to be like the widow that kept petitioning the judge in the Bible and saying, and saying, "We're not going to stand for this. We're peeling up every corner. We're looking under every rug. We're looking under the crack in every door. We're looking behind every door, and we're not going to stop until we get satisfaction that we're getting the truth." And, I'm telling you, these people, they opened up a can of worms. Now, if they had actually, like, maybe campaigned, or if Creeper, if the Creeper in chief had people show up for his rallies, if they had even pretended to have a crowd, then maybe people wouldn't have been so alarmed at the numbers that came out. But speaking of numbers, here's the other thing that our president said. He said, uh, hold on, this was a pretty long. I'm going to read you what he said about um, Georgia in just a minute. Where is it? It was about the 150 million. Okay. It says, he says, Creeper in Chief just said 150 people voted in the 2020 presidential election scam. On the assumption that he meant 150 million people, and based on the fact that I got 75 million plus, 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 that would mean that Biden got 75 million votes, which is 6 million votes less than they say he got. So, what is that all about? Are they already conceding 6 million votes? I thought that was really good. Really good. Now, let me talk to you about Georgia. This is what he says about Georgia. This is what Real 45 says about Georgia. He says the news coming out of Georgia is beyond incredible. The hand recount in Fulton County was a total fraud. They stuffed the ballot box and got caught. We will lose our country if that is allowed to stand. According to the just released report from Garland Favorito and the highly respected voter GA in Fulton County, the hand recount was wrong by 60%. 60%. 100,000 tally sheets for ballots were missing. They duplicated thousands of extra votes for Biden and fabricated vote counts of 100-0 for Biden many times. Ballot batch sheets fraudulently showed multiple unanimous 100-0 counts for Biden, as well as 150-0, 150-0, and 200-0. Are we now a third world country? Yeah. What else will they find once the full forensic audit takes place? So he's telling you right there, like it's going to happen. This means Brad Raffensperger certified the 2020 presidential election scam, despite it being, quote, riddled with massive errors and probable and provable fraud. This proves that Susie Voiles, who worked Fulton elections for decades, suspected that fraudulent photocopied ballots were counted for Biden. This is on top of the 35,000 illegal votes recently found in Georgia and the over 100,000 obsolete voter registrations, plus thousands of dead people deleted after the election. One thing that I'm noticing as I read this is that he's using commas in weird places. So people who are good at decoding that kind of stuff, and he's also using strategic capital letters. I would take a closer look at that. Those of you who really get into those details. Okay, with the Attorney General of Georgia, will the Attorney General of Georgia, Chris Kerr, finally act? How has Governor Brian Kemp allowed this to happen? This corruption is at the high. This is corruption at the highest level. Our nation is at stake. And then he said, read the report here. There's a link. Read the Federalist article here. Watch the video of duplicate ballots here. So he's putting the links in. And so that is this is earth-shattering. If you're out there and you're still pushing the narrative that this is the big lie, you're being caught, because the big lie is that you're saying this is a big lie. Well, there's two big lies. One big lie was the pandemic, and the second big lie is that there's no such thing, that there isn't any election fraud. And the interesting thing is, remember back in the beginning when the president was talking about it and his team was talking about it, and the media kept saying, there's no evidence of widespread election fraud. Well, for one thing, it doesn't have to be widespread for it to matter. I mean, what does that mean? Does it mean that there has to be more than one cheater, that there has to be more than one race that somebody is cheating on? Because in my country, in my republic, the right to have your vote counted is sacred and it's protected. And if my vote doesn't get counted, then that's all it takes. We shouldn't have to have evidence of widespread election fraud for there to be a look at what's happening. It doesn't happen that way. But just to accommodate these people, just to shoot that narrative down, we actually have evidence of widespread election fraud across the whole country. They're coming up with evidence pretty much everywhere. And at this point, we're looking at having audits in every single state. And yes, it's tedious. Yes, it's going to take a long time. But we're looking at completely and totally restoring the republic. That's what we're looking to do here. We're not looking to appease a few people who maybe think that they were shortchanged. That's not what happened here. And it's really important. It's really critical that people understand that. This is a big deal. And it doesn't matter if you voted one way or the other. This should matter to you. It should matter to you who it should matter who counts these votes and if they're being counted fairly. Because, if my guy if my guy wins because somebody fixed the race, that's not a win. That's a steal. That's a steal. And you have to give it back. Just like when what's his name? Lance Armstrong had to give back the thing, the Tour de France, right? And all of those awards that he won. So uh it is Yeah, so the point is that not only was it not some people in the comments are saying, just one fraudulent vote is too much. I absolutely agree with you. But what I'm saying to you is that the mainstream media, the propaganda arm of the DNC, was running with the line for the longest time that this shouldn't even be a thing because there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. So I'm speaking to that concept that, hey, you know what? You want evidence of widespread fraud? We got it. So what's your next talking point, minions? That's what we're looking at here. Okay. Now, I want to shift topics here for just a minute, and I'm gonna be a little bit briefer today because of my travel schedule. Okay, but there is something that I wanted to tell you, and this is important. This is important. All right. If you're not following Seth Keshel on Telegram, I urge you to follow him. Keshel, Seth Keshel. All right, let me just look at this. What was I going to show you? All right. Okay, this is important. I've talked about this. And yeah, Seth is amazing. Seth Keshel, yes, Pat. Okay. This is what I wanted to read to you. He posted something. He's a captain, a military captain. All right. He said, I shouldn't have to say this, but be mindful of your posts and comments. There are hundreds of Americans being held without charges for the trumped up events of January 6th. There are people watching every channel so they can hold your comments against you if they call for violence. And he means your comments, if your comments call for violence. Realize also that these same folks are trying to get info from audit groups too. What we are doing with audits is within our legal rights as peaceful solutions to real problems. And if you happen to be one of the creeps monitoring channels to entrap people, you are an embarrassment to this nation. You took an oath to protect the Constitution and the rights of American citizens, and I do not consider any of you to be our countrymen. So he's talking about the fibbers, the three-letter agency people who are infiltrating these channels. Let me just make it very clear that just because you're on Telegram and you're on what you consider a safe app and you're in a chat room of somebody like me or Seth Keshel or the George chat or whatever, or if you're on a YouTube live or anything like that, there are people who are um, there are people who are tasked specifically with monitoring those chats and befriending people and getting in private messages with them and entrapping them into situations where they can send the goons to their door. And I just want you to make it. I just want to make that very clear, because I've said this before, and I will stand by this. I will always delete any chat, any post in my chat, my channel, that is calling for violence. Um, it, it, it doesn't matter whether I agree with you or not, whether the sentiment is one that is widely recognized. That's not the point. And if you get offended by that, then I'll just ban you from the channel. And in some cases, you'll get banned from the channel instantly anyway, because I don't trust that you're there for the good of the Patriots. And I'm in the same place with Seth Keshel on that, is that I don't recognize you as one of my countrymen. I just want to be very clear about that. And the same thing in the chat, in the Facebook, in the Cloud Hub, in the YouTube. Um, uh, don't um, don't push it, because I won't tolerate it. Um, Somebody said they're getting private messages right now on Telegram. I delete them and block. Yeah, some of those are bots. Some of them are just creepy people. I get private messages too. If it's not from somebody that I know personally that's on my contact list, I'm always going to block it. If you need to get in touch with me, you need to email me through my website, marygracemedia.com, or info@marygracemedia.com. That's it. So if you're not known to me personally, you're probably not going to get a response from me on Telegram. And the same thing goes if you send me something by email and it doesn't have any context. If you just send me links to something, I'm going to delete it. So I just want to give you a heads up about that. Um, I think that was some of the housekeeping I wanted to get out of the way. But it's important. It's very important that everybody get that, and don't fall for it. Don't fall into these scenarios where you have somebody that starts this kind of rhetoric and sentiment in a group like that, and then they're looking for people to respond in kind, say, oh heck yeah, same here, things like that. um they're on a fishing expedition when they do things like that. Don't take the bait. Okay. Somebody, I got an email yesterday from somebody suggesting that Patriots rally in Washington D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial, in support of the Cuban protesters. Let's see if my channel gets blacked out when I say that. Of the Cuban freedom fighters. Well, think about that. Like, after everything that's going on, we have hundreds of patriots who are being held in as political prisoners. Um, that we have hundreds of patriots who are being held as political prisoners right now in Washington. Who thinks it's a good idea to hold a patriot rally in that city for any reason whatsoever right now? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Be careful about stuff like that. I got that email and the first thing I did was delete. And so I just want to encourage you, like, really think about that, okay? Think about what people are doing, and think about the reasoning behind that. Why? Who would any Yeah, anyway, just right. Okay. And I mean, even if you live near there, bad idea. Okay. Now, let's see. I want to see this one other comment that the president put out. So this is really good. So the president put out a statement, and one of the anons sort of edited the statement a little bit, but let me just read it to you. Um, so the statement that I read you, where he was talking about the landslide in Georgia. Um, so he says, "What will they find once the full forensic audit takes place?" So this is going back to the statement that I read a little while ago, and I was saying, when he says things like that, that means he knows that there actually is going to be a full forensic audit. He knows more than you think he does. He knows more than people think he does. And then the Anons edited and turned it into a meme, and it says, and so what will they find, right? And then it says that I, Trump, won in an absolute landslide, and that nothing can stop what is coming. So that's, yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say, hold on to your hats, people, because this ride is only just getting started. Um, so yeah, just make sure that uh that you hold on. Now, Wendy Rogers is tweeting out along these lines. She's saying they can't stop 50 state audits. This is how we take our country back from the fraudsters. And she's calling for an audit in all 50 states. Okay. Um, so that is that's kind of what's going on right now. Now let me, oh, how could I forget? Who thinks that it's way more than just poetic justice that a mural, the mural of St. George the Floyd, was struck by lightning? Does anybody else think that's just like right? That's biblical. That's right out of the Bible. Did you guys see that? Like, ah, this is so crazy. Completely struck by lightning and um, fell over yesterday. This is in Ohio. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, Toledo, Ohio. um, Now, somebody is saying now that it's just age. The building just came down, right? Okay. Um, yeah, whatever. But basically, this is funny. Toledo police were seen outside the building, which used to house the Mugshots bar, setting up tape around the pile of bricks that once formed the artwork. The pile. How funny is that? They put it on. They put the picture of Saint George, the convicted drug addict criminal, on the wall of a building that used to be Mugshots bar. Mugshots. There's so much poetic justice. If you just look for it, it's just right there. It's just right there in front of you. That's what I call um that's what I call poetic justice. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. Yes, what happened to him, if it truly did happen, was tragic. But the fact that we're tearing down monuments of our forefathers right now, our founding fathers, and putting up monuments to this person, um, that's a problem. And God is not happy. God ain't happy. He ain't happy with that. He does not like what he's seeing. And it says right there in the Bible, thou shalt have no other gods before me. You shall make no graven image. I'm thinking that putting up a mural and teaching kids that this is your that this is your role model, that's a problem. Uh Delia wants to see the before and after. This is a video. Hold on a second. This is where it that's where it came down from. Okay. I'm trying to see the before. I don't see it. I'll have to find it. It was a big picture of his face. It was a mugshot, basically. So, um, maybe the artist will pick a different subject next time. I don't know. So, yeah, big problem. Big problem. All right. Let me see. Let me just check on my notes here. All right. Like I said, I've got a little bit of an abbreviated show today because of my time schedule. Okay. I think that's going to be it right now. Is there anything else I'm leaving out? Millie, is there anything else I need to talk about right now? Oh, I wanted to tell you, this is really interesting. So I've been listening to Kat Kerr on Elijah Streams, and you guys know that I spent a weekend with her a couple months ago. And she is she has just such an incredible connection to God, and she spends a lot of time going to heaven. And she also has a tremendous revelation about the host, about the angelic activity that's going on all around us. And I've been trying to pay more attention lately to that. And I wanted to tell you that lately I have been seeing this happened last week when I was up camping overnight, and it happened on the lake, and then it happened today and yesterday. And one of the things that she teaches is that we as Christians have authority to activate the host because they actually are looking for command. They're like soldiers. And so, when you as a Christian who is walking right with God, you have that authority to send them out before you, and to put to go around you in protection. It says it right there in the Bible, Psalm 91, right? He will give his angels charge concerning you, lest you strike your foot upon a stone. So they're actually given assignments to protect you, and to go before you into anywhere you go. So on the plane, things like that. It's definitely worth listening to her to get an idea about what's going on. And so this is really interesting. That one of the things that she says, and she actually has her own specific angelic being that travels everywhere she goes. His name is Rex. So we saw him, and what she said is like they take the shape of the clouds. So the host are not clouds, but they get in the clouds and like they make the shapes. Okay. And the last few days, what I've been seeing is that um, I've been seeing like these massive wings in the clouds. I mean, I should be taking pictures of it, but I was driving. But they're literally I mean, well, when you see the paintings of what you think of as like a big wing, that's what I've been seeing. And I've really been praying, and I've been trying to be more conscious of this, of being aware of the fact that the hosts are there. And she said that they actually prefer to be called the host, not angels, the heavenly host, that they are the warring angels. And that's what I've been seeing. Really, just like very distinct, clear pictures of like a wing, like with the feathers. It's pretty amazing. It happened today. I was driving along with my dad, and I said, "You see that? You see those clouds right there? Those are angels." I didn't say host, but that's what it is. And it happened to me last week when I went out. I was paddling early in the morning on the lake, and I looked up on the just above the mountains, and it was a very clear couple of wings. Um it was really cool, really amazing, and I've just been seeing that more and more, and so I'm looking out for more of that, and so it is it's pretty neat. And when you ask God to open the eyes of your spirit, we're made to see with spiritual eyes, because it says, the Bible says that nobody can discern the mind of God except those who have the mind of Christ. I may have mixed that up a little bit. I think it's in Second Corinthians. But basically what he's saying is that, when we have him, when we ask Jesus into our hearts, we actually have the mind of Christ. And so we can actually see the things that he sees, and we can see in the spirit beyond what we see in the earthly realm, because this is only one realm of being. You know that. And so part of what I think we have to have that curiosity, and because if God shows us things all the time and we're just ignoring them, then he, why would he just keep doing it? I mean, he does it because he's a lavish God and he loves us and he lavishes us with his goodness. But, it's just like any gift, any parent, when you are actually looking for it and you're appreciating it and stewarding it, he's going to give you more. He's going to let you see more, right? You're just like, "Wow, that's amazing." And he's like, "Okay, wait, do you want to see this?" Same idea. Okay. So I wanted to encourage you. She comes on Elijah Streams. She comes on Elijah Streams, which is on YouTube, and she comes on Wednesdays. And it's very encouraging, especially if you have questions about heaven, if you have questions about God, if you have questions about whether God actually sees you and hears you and knows who you are and has an interest in you personally. I think that you'll be incredibly encouraged by listening to her. And she's the real deal. I've been with her. I told you, I mean, some of you guys saw my live stream. It's on my YouTube feed, but I was with her for a whole weekend, and so I've sat beside her, broken bread with her, and she may be different from what you're used to, because most people are used to living just and focusing on this earthly realm, and she is really bringing people into revelation of what's happening in the spirit realm outside of what's in front of our natural eyes. And so I do encourage you to go and look at that. Okay. Now, I'll be back next Wednesday if my travel schedule goes well. Like I said, please make sure that you are following make sure that you're following my channels here, because if you're not following the YouTube channel, then you'll miss it if I go live from the events in California. I don't know that I'll go live because I don't always have a good feed at those kinds of events, but we'll just see. Um, and um, so so I think that, yeah, we'll just see what happens. And again, I may upload some shorter videos to the Telegram. That works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But we'll just see what happens. And so somebody's asking about the live stream for the event. I would go to Thrive Time show on Rumble, because they're the chief sponsor. And then also make sure you're following the Steel Truth Telegram. That is Anne and Liz and producer Liz are going to be out there. So what's the other thing? Oh, I'm going to be touring our superfoods manufacturing facility out in Long Beach, and all of our superfoods are manufactured and processed right here in the U.S., and that's pretty exciting. So if you haven't looked at what we have with our superfoods, make sure you write to me, info@marygracemedia.com, and I'll send you a promo code so you can save over $100 off of your 30-day transformation. It's pretty amazing. The event is called Reawaken America Tour, I believe. If you go on Clay's website, thrivetimeshow.com, you'll see it there. Now, uh, what else? What else was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah. So for some reason, I can't get my info@marygracemedia.com uh, email to load onto either Outlook or to my mail on my phone, which is just crazy because it used to work. And so if you're writing to me at that address, which I like for you to do, if you don't hear from me right away, it's because I don't have access at that moment to my computer. It works fine on my computer, I just can't get it to work on my phone. So it could be that because Apple wants to force me to do an update on the phone and I don't want to. So you know how that goes. Um, so um, I think that's it. Thank you everybody for being here. And like I said, just just be careful about chasing, the squirrels of the stories that seem big and exciting and important and blah 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 and drama, sometimes the drama is put out there. Sometimes the drama is put out there for the normies and for the deep state and the mainstream media, the propagandists. It's put out there as a distraction for them, not for you. So just stay on target. Don't get distracted by all of that. Okay. All right. So I will be back. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you to my moderators here. Make sure that you are um, following the show. Make sure that you turn on the notifications. And again, go to YouTube, Mary Grace Media, and make sure that you are following that channel and that you're subscribed, so that when I do go live from wherever, that you can see it. Oh, and then please say a prayer for me, because I have to fly American Airlines, and whoo, yeah. Anyway, I got my face diaper for that. You guys know this is like a big deal for me to do this, to wear that thing. And so just, pray, deep breaths. I'm probably going to be snacking on something the whole time. I'm still chewing. Okay. So that's my plan. Or drinking something, actively drinking. It's insane when you go on the website and it tells you the rules. It literally, it's like, you must be actively eating or swallowing or drinking or whatever. I am praying for invisibility. I want all of my angels to put a cloud of invisibility around me, like that little pig pen character. They'll be like, I thought there was somebody sitting in seat 10A, but I don't know. Um, Delia's question. Delia, the answer to your question is absolutely 100% I did. Yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. Um, I mean, I really don't want to. I don't really want to like eat the whole time. That's not really how I roll when I'm flying. But I guess I'm just gonna have to do that. You know. Uh, yeah, and everything's gonna go fine. Nothing's gonna get canceled. I'm gonna get there in time. It's gonna be fine. All right. I will be back. See you guys later. Thank you for your comments, and I will be back. Have a great weekend, everybody, and make sure you do watch the conference, the streaming. Take care and pray for the president. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you one more thing. You're not going to want to miss this. Okay, remember on when President Trump, um, on his website, you can go there and you can ask, um, you can ask for the president to send a card or a card to a loved one. I did that for my dad because his birthday is Friday, and he is an Air Force veteran. And I wrote that on my note, and they sent it in the mail. Our mail hasn't been coming, but that mail came. And I gave it to him last night, and he opened it because I'm not going to be here for his birthday. And he opened the card and he read it. And and it was really interesting. It was really sweet, right? And they thanked him for serving our country and in the Air Force. It was really good. I definitely recommend that you do that you go in and request if you have somebody that has a birthday coming up. I think you need about 2 months lead to do it. But anyway, so it was pretty cool, and he wanted me to put it up on the desk, on the display area where we put cards. And then, we're just I didn't know, like, he's not overly reactive about stuff. And so he's sitting there eating dinner and he's going to be 84. He goes, "That's the first time I've ever gotten a birthday card from the president." I thought that was so good because I'm like, A, yeah, it is the president. And B, how cool is that? So it was really, really neat. Like, everybody knows, everybody knows who won. Everybody knows who the president is. And he doesn't really talk about that much at all. So it was pretty special. Yeah. He doesn't talk about politics, right? But yeah. Yep. Birthday card from the president. Mhm. Pretty sweet. Very nice. And it's got his signature on it. So it has the presidential seal. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. That's it. I just wanted to wrap up the day with that story. Uh, Anna Kate just live streamed new phone that can't be tracked, the Freedom phone. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna see her there. I'll ask her about it. That's cool. Wow. Okay. Um, that's great. Yeah, I'll definitely ask her about it. All right, everybody have a very good evening and take care. Bye.